So one of the questions that comes up to me frequently is how we designed our analog console sitting here behind me. It's a combination of accidental discovery, of thoughtful design in vintage analog circuitry, in more modern day analog circuitry, and everything in between. It's really a whole that's greater than the sum of its parts. And when we designed this console, we really wanted to make sure that there was no veil between the listener and the recording. It's very important that even though there's color, there's flavor, there's style, there's attitude, and there's all types of aspects to what it is we provide to the music, but you cannot inject any of that between the recording and the listener. The flavor of what we do must be injected into the song and let it bloom and let it really breathe out so that that listener can connect with that song, that performer, everything about that recording. So that's the thought that went into this console. And I'll give you one of the accidental discoveries that is a part of that color and flavor that we do. In the very early days of checking out the EAR equalizer that we use in the front of our chain, I had accidentally patched it into the place that a de-esser goes, which was at that time in the very front of the chain. In the early days of analog processing and the way that I was taught by Doug Sachs, my mentor, our de-essing would happen in the very front of the chain, and then we would EQ and compress and do everything else to the music. So accidentally the EQ was patched in there when it was supposed to be patched in at a later part in the chain. So what I discovered was that there was a particular type of saturation that would happen to that equalizer as the signal got more relaxed down the chain, and the gain structure was paid attention to where there was more level hitting that equalizer in the beginning of the chain than at the end. We quickly discovered that and corrected it by putting the EQ in the correct spot in the chain, and it didn't feel as good. So we put it back in the original spot and discovered the saturation on that unit felt better in the gain structure that we had than if we put it later in the chain. So we left it there and started to use it that way. And now in the world of digital mixes coming in, it's really cool to have that thing in the front of the chain, get a little bit of saturation, ease the gain structure out of it, come down a dB or two, and into the rest of the gear, solid state equalizers, solid state limiters, de-esser at the end of the chain, and put our music together this way. So that's one of the accidental discoveries that's allowed us to work on music with this console and let it bloom, but have a little bit of saturation and vibe and attitude, and relax the gain structure so the music can still bloom and that kind of thing. The console is also based on vintage technology, which allows us to run long cable lengths without the use of op-amps to control the gain structure from piece of gear to piece of gear. So you'll see tube EQ, solid state EQ, tube limiter, solid state limiter, and de-essing and anything else we can think of that the music needs. And you know, the whole idea is to put it all together to make it sound like we were never there. So we use a little bit of everything. We don't use a lot of any piece of gear. We use little bits of the best pieces of gear and put it together that way. This console has been modeled and is available through IK Multimedia as the LMC, and we hope that you check it out, enjoy it, and look forward to your comments. We'll see you out there.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into our YouTube channel. We look forward to making really great content for you.
So please hit the subscribe button and we'll see you out there.